Imagine going to school every day with the fear of an attack. This is how Lia Bates and all of her classmates, including Anne Frank, felt. Because of her experiences during World War II and relationship with Anne Frank, she was able to make an impact on the small town of Skaneateles for generations to come. Lia Bates was 8 years old when she was in the same class as Anne Frank. Although Lia was 1 year older, they remained school friends for 3 years. Lia recalls the perfectly ironed shirts and overall straps Anne would wear. One thing that stuck out about Anne was how talkative she was and the secret language she spoke with one other girl in her class, Elizabeth. A couple years ago, Lia was able to reunite with Elizabeth in Rochester, New York. The last time Lia recalls seeing Anne was in 1940, but she will always have the poem Anne wrote her to remember her by.
In school, students received a book to write their classmates a poem. This is similar to a yearbook today. Anne wrote this poem for Lia.
Lieve Lia, blijf steeds als het heidebloempje dat groeit tussen mos en kruid. Dan maak je steeds het roempje van je omgeving uit. Ter herinnering aan je schoolvriendin en Frank.
The Holocaust was a discrimination and persecution of all of the Jewish. Under the power of Hitler, he captured millions of Jews and sent them off to concentration camps. In Holland, food was very scarce. Lia mentions eating tulip bulb soup and sugar beets every day. Being desperate for food, Lia traded her year-old skates in return for 5 pounds of wheat. During the Holocaust, there were day-to-day alarms to indicate an air raid, shootings, and bombings. Lia remembers having about 20 alarms go off every day. During these long alarms, students fled to the school basement. Once, Lia was in her home and a British bomb exploded in their backyard, killing 11 people. The bomb was a mistake by the British, probably not knowing their location.
In 1952, Lia and her husband, who was an American soldier, left Holland to pursue a new life in the United States. She lived in New York City for several years and then moved to the central New York area where she lived in Syracuse for 2 years. When she became pregnant with her third child, they decided they needed a bigger house and found the small town of Skaneateles, New York. After living in Skaneateles for some time, one evening while having dinner with her husband, the topic of Anne Frank's diary recently being published arose. Her husband brought up Anne's name and Lia immediately recalled going to school with her. She then remembered that Anne wrote her a poem and decided she wanted to share it with the community. Although she could have given it to one of her 5 children, she wanted to share it with generations to come. Now the poem is available for many to see and helps Anne's legacy live on.